Hi, I'm Lisa Leiter. In Chicago Business Today, the local job market. Recent reports indicate that the job market nationwide is still struggling. Yesterday, we learned that first-time claims for unemployment benefits unexpectedly rose for the 9th straight week. And this comes after last week's government report showing businesses nationwide created just 54,000 jobs in May. That's much less than economists expected. And the unemployment rate surprisingly jumped to 9.1%. Now, we won't have the latest local numbers until later this month, but in April, the Chicago area jobless rate dropped slightly to 8.7%. Now the question is how a slowdown in manufacturing and other factors are going to impact hiring going forward. Tom Gimbel, chief executive of staffing firm LaSalle Network, joined me recently to talk more about the local labor market. Tom, thanks for joining us.
Good to be here, Lisa.
So what's your read on the local market? Things had been improving based on the numbers I referred to in the intro, at least locally. You know, the jobless rate has come down 2 full percentage points in the last year. But it seems now that other people are talking about a slowdown. What's your read?
Well, Chicago and Illinois always tend to do better than the national average. And Chicago has always been and continues to be an economic hub for the country, but for the state, obviously, as well. Unfortunately, June numbers I don't think are going to be spectacularly better either, and primarily because we're getting all these kids coming out of college that puts a whole nother bunch of people into the workforce. So I think what we're going to see locally is companies are continuing to hire, but more and more they're hiring people who are currently employed for better jobs, more higher paying jobs, and the people who have been unemployed for a consistent basis need to get education and retrained in different areas because the market's just not picking up there.
So are people coming in to your offices now that hadn't been looking for work for a while because they didn't think the job market was that great, but that they've seen these improving numbers over the last year and now they're looking again? What are you seeing?
What you're starting to see now is companies were hiring and unemployment was dropping. We found a very, very strong set of people that were now not afraid to leave jobs, right? It doesn't affect the unemployment number, but it does affect how businesses are hiring. And they were not afraid to leave a current employment position for a better one and be the low man on the totem pole someplace else. That's a very healthy sign for the economy. What we're seeing in the unemployment level, and it still surprises me to this day, is how soon someone will quit a job that they don't like and they don't have anything else. So there's a lot of things going into place, but we're not seeing people who are really saying, I'm willing to do whatever it takes at a job well below my salary level. We're not seeing the underemployment.
What's the hesitation among companies that aren't hiring right now? What are they saying to you?
They don't want to get in the same jam that they were in 3 years ago. They're saying, we've been there before, we scaled back, we managed our inventory differently, we realized we had more people doing the jobs that fewer people could do, and now we're not going to get there again. We're going to stay lean, we're going to stay strong, we're going to hire seasonal, we're going to hire based on business flows, but we're not going to overstaff. The market just doesn't tolerate that anymore.
What about temporary workers, which are often seen as a barometer for hiring going forward? I've seen some reports that temporary worker salaries are up. Are you seeing that? And what do you think that's telling us?
Yeah, LaSalle Network on our temporary staffing units is doing gangbusters. And it's doing it at the low levels and at the high level stuff. So low level being customer service, entry level accounting positions or technology help desk stuff, up to senior level where people are bringing people in on a contract basis and saying, we don't know where our business is going to be. So come in for 2 months, help us out, let's see what we can do, and then we'll see if we're going to move the ball forward. But it's not a negative stereotype of saying we don't want to commit to people. It's saying we don't want to commit to our business. We don't want to risk the jobs of 1,000 people by hiring an extra 50, because that's what ends up happening. Once you spend the money on payroll, it's gone. It isn't coming back and you don't have the inventory.
And you talk about moving the ball forward. Are they moving the ball forward? I mean, are some of these temporary jobs being translated into permanent jobs, or are we sort of in a new reality now where temporary jobs won't be a barometer because companies aren't willing to commit?
For LaSalle Network, it's always been about a 40 to 45% number of temporaries that converted over. That number has decreased, and I haven't seen that start to increase yet in high numbers of people doing it. So I think it's a lot more of the contractor-based model and people going from project to project. And the key is what type of contribution you make beyond that finite period of time.
So then overall, what's your outlook short term for the job market locally?
Well, I think it's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be great, but I think it's going to be good. I think the key is people need to be willing to be flexible in what they're wanting to do. And if people aren't willing to do that, then companies don't want to hire them.
Okay. Well, Tom, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And that's this edition of Chicago Business Today. For all of your business headlines, be sure to stick with chicagobusiness.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday.